Hi, my name is Nana Gries and I'm Technical Creative Director for Tony & Guy Academy and Label M Professional. We are here today at Work Studio to shoot our new campaign, Socialized. Very exciting, and I'm working together with Kosakas on a look called the Chroma. The Chroma plays with the concept of relaxed luxury, and we're working with a soft monochrome color palette and freehand techniques to create blurred edging and root blushing, working with some real root attitude. When it comes to inspiration, when Kos and I came together talking about the ideas, working with one of the lightest shades within the collection, and I really didn't want to see too much of a cool blonde, so warm white and the idea of shadow and light was a starting point. So okay, let's have a look at the step-by-step technique for the Chroma for the Socialized collection. The sectioning pattern for the Chroma starts off with a triangle working from top crown to mid-recession on either side. We're subdividing that then, working over the natural parting using a soft and blurry zigzag. A subsection is taken on the right hand side at the front, again working from the recession to the top of the ear. This section later will be worked with a soft edging technique. Another subsection is taken now at the back, starting from the top of the ear to the middle of the nape, and we worked with profile section and radial section to make it easier for us to take a clean parting. To start off the technique of the Chroma, which in this case we worked as a toning technique, we used pre-lightener to create a bright and even base. For our blushing technique at the back, we're working our rose grey into the root area by working diagonal sections all the way up until both sections are completed. Again applying in the same manner, working diagonal sections, working our rose grey into the root area until completed. We're starting off our length and ends application by placing a small amount of warm white onto the mesh, sticking it underneath the first subsection for ease of application and cleanliness. The sections are worked on a diagonal angle and so is our brush, so we're working with soft blushing from rose grey into warm white. Now we're working from the nape up to the crown area, again applying in the same manner our colour through midlands and ends until we finish the whole subsection. The next subsection we are colouring is front right hand side, and this is going to be a very important focal point within the technique. We want to create a really strong line within the haircut. We're doing the root application first with our warm white, taking small horizontal sections and applying minimum of product for ease of application and control of our colour application. Then we are working our mesh underneath our first subsection and combing the hair down into natural fall, and then just working with the edging technique, so working with quite a strong and straight line across the section with our deepest tone, the pewter. The next section is being combed directly onto the section, again being careful not to move the hair around too much because we do want to work with a graphic detail within the haircut. We continue in that manner until we finish the whole section. The next section to be coloured is at the back left hand side, and we're working again with an edging technique, working our root colour in first, which is our warm white, working up in small horizontal sections and minimum amount of product. We're combing it then into natural fall, which is slightly on a diagonal, and then we're working our edging in one section. By working the whole section in one, it is partially a surface color. So while you're still working with the idea of the blurred lines, it's just not quite as strong. It looks a little bit softer. The next section to be colored is on the left hand side above the ear, And we're just repeating what we've already done at the back, just this time working with a smaller root. So again, we're using our rose grey until we finish the whole subsection. And then we're blushing into warm white, taking small horizontal sections, one mesh underneath it for ease of application, and a brush on an angle to really work the colors together. The next section to be colored now is our top triangle. We're starting on the bigger part of the subdivision and working a block color, warm white, roots to tips. Looking at key points for the chroma, well, it's kind of the starting point with every color is you have to decide on an idea, on a color palette, and then stick with it. So for us it was soft monochromes, so it wasn't black and white, it was kind of everything non-colored in between. Working with two sections of blurred edging or blurred lines in the hair, working with a shadow effect onto the root area on top. We are then moving into the smaller part of our subdivision. We want to create those beautiful shadows which we're going to see on the surface, on the parting. So we're again working with two colors, working our darkest tone, the pewter, into the root area and then blending into a warm white. We need to work with a slicing technique because we want to work a very, very clean and precise application. We also want to work with a diffused root stretching technique. So one section, we're working a small amount of the pewter into the roots, working our brush on an angle to blend the color down the hair shaft, and then working just a little bit of the warm white through the midlands and ends. Alternating with sections in which we stretch the pewter really down the hair shaft. So really working with a lot of darkness, a lot of shadow in the roots, and just a little bit of the warm white in the ends. Because we're working with such a strong contrast, we want to work the colors together, but we don't want to blend them together too much because you're creating a grey. Once you have the finished result, you got a very diffused feeling, but at the same time you get some separation. So this is the application technique for the chroma, and we're going to see the finished result once Cos has done the haircut and the finish. Now that we developed the color, the hair is now blow dried and finished, and we can have a look at the different tones and techniques in the hair. The key features are edging, blurred lines, and a soft monochrome color palette. It's always quite an exciting moment when you look at your image printed out at the wall. With Cos together we achieved what we were after. That is actually the look we wanted to do. This year felt quite different to the last couple of years in terms of collection. Looks very strong, a lot of texture. We've done many years of very, very bright tones, and they've still got their place, but it feels in a moment that we're returning a little bit more to technique. So it wasn't so much a look inspired by fashion, but by technique and color palette. So this is the chroma for the campaign Socialized